taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut, season off top, you stop breathing.
Because, we stay up on that shit.
Yeah. And then last but certainly not least, though, we definitely got to show respect to a 90s icon, that recently passed away, unexpectedly at the young age of 59. 59 years old. Of course, I'm talking about Coolio. Now let's put it this way. It's because if you look back at Coolio's career, you have to understand, Coolio at his peak was you could say that he probably was the number one rapper in the world. You could legit say that. But it's you think
there was a time you could say. There was a time where you could say he was the number one, or he had the number one song, best song. Yeah. You could legit say that. Yeah.
He won not a Grammy, but he won some huge award over Pac and Snoop Dogg back in the day. Over Pac and Bone Thugs. Literally. I think he beat Crossroads. Didn't he beat Crossroads or some shit?
The Gangsta's Paradise is if you had to pick the 10 biggest hip hop songs in the 90s, if Gangsta's Paradise isn't in that list, I don't know what.
That shit was number ones in so many countries. It's rare for a rap song to have that type of it was ones across the board.
It had that kind of pull. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, and the timing. Movie was nowhere near the success of the song or as good as the song.
It's funny because the song was so classic that it spawned a classic parody of that classic song.
Yeah, and it was Weird Al Yankovic's biggest hit, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Coolio was that dude in the 90s. Coolio, when Tupac and Biggie, when all of them were selling records, Coolio was selling records, and Coolio was doing this because back in the mid 90s, anyone on the West Coast, if you weren't Death Row affiliated, they're the ones that got the machine because Death Row was love, gangster rap, and back then, there were your C. Dolores Tuckers and your Reverend Calvin Butts that were actively, going on there, saying crushing cassettes on sidewalks and talking about, bitches and hoes. It was a different time.
You drill rappers, y'all niggas got it easy. Y'all could say all y'all shit and no one don't be breaking y'all shit. Back then, you were saying some gangster shit on the record, motherfuckers was like, oh my God, what about the children? And
they were going.
It's like a Frankenstein movie. They got torches and they get your CDs and you throw them in Times Square and they sea walk on them, and it was horrible times. Man.
Yeah, take all that shit in front of Tower Records and crush all that shit. Tower Records don't exist anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, CC Pat knows. CC.
Yeah, and then Coolio was that dude because Coolio blew up without being affiliated with Dr. Dre or Snoop Dogg, although they knew him, he wasn't affiliated with them, which was rare for a West Coast rapper to actually blow up like that, like he did.
And you're outside of the Snoop Dogs, the Ice Cubes, the Dre's, Warren G's, if you're not a part of those camps, because those were the major he wasn't with the Bay Area, no E40, no. He was just Coolio,
he did his own thing. It seemed right, he didn't come with the crew or a record label.
Well, he had a crew back in the day.
Everybody had a crew, but you know what I mean. He didn't have that push. I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't have no push. He was down with Dub C and the Mad Circle back in the day. And he was dope on that. But once he went solo and he dropped Fantastic Voyage, and that shit was
people know Fantastic Voyage was huge.
That was such a classic fucking song. Oh my God.
And the video was classic as fuck too. Yeah.
Classic summer song, y'all don't know, that shit ruled MTV Jams back in the day.
Yeah,
I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old down to that shit, man. God damn, that was such
shit. Damn, that was a classic song, man. Shit.
Yeah, but Gangsta's Paradise, when that shit, because that was from his first solo, because Fantastic Voyage was the big hit from his debut. And then he had Mama, I'm in Love with a Gangsta, and I Remember, and County Line. There we go. Yeah.
I Remember was dope.
I love County Line, yo. County Line had the Atomic Dog sample, I think, if I remember. I think it was the Atomic Dog sample.
That I fucks with I'll see you when I get there.
Yeah. So,
That shit was fire too.
Yeah,
like,
but yeah, that's a Gangsta's Paradise. Yeah, that shit blew him into rare air. Like, you know, like pretty much like you couldn't mention Coolio was like literally one of the top rappers. Like no one could take that away from him in that period. Like 95, 96. Like
95, 96, yeah.
Yeah, like and it wasn't like it was a one-hit wonder. Dude had like he had Too Hot. Too Hot was personally my favorite Coolio song.
God damn, I forgot he did have Too Hot. Man, like goddamn, when you think about it, Coolio was that nigga. Like it's just he's been so out of the spotlight.
And he did the theme song to a classic, Keely Kel.
Yeah,
that's probably
that too.
Yeah, that's probably me, and it's probably more towards me and Pete because we're a little younger. So
yeah,
that was all that.
We watched the show, but yeah, you know, that was definitely
because my sister loved that shit.
Well, no, it's funny because and that's what a lot of people like remember him for. Because I went to a Yankee game on Friday, and I was at the concession stand, and they started playing like in intermission. They started playing Gangsta's Paradise, and I'm jamming, and like they were like these three white women were like mentioning Coolio, and like one of them was like, "Oh, you know, like, don't you remember Keely Kel?" And I'm like, see, like that's that they remember him from something. So there's always gonna be something you remember Coolio.
No, I mean,
he was unavoidable in the '90s.
Yeah, you can't mention the history of the '90s without name dropping Coolio or mentioning Coolio. He was the fabric of the '90s. He really was.
Yeah, and he had more songs like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, get your woman on the floor, gotta get up to get down. Like I used to love that shit.
I haven't heard that shit. God, you gonna make me go like a Coolio playlist after this? Like,
yeah, I was like, Coolio had, and then the Hit 'Em High shit that was on the Space Jam.
Hit 'Em High,
I forgot about
that. I remember that.
They killed that
Space Jam
shit.
Soundtrack. So.
The Space Jam soundtrack. That was Coolio, huh? God damn.
Yeah, Coolio.
Niggas like that was Coolio, huh? Like,
yeah, and it's like Coolio had so many. Like he was on there, like he was on that shit. I mean, he was on joints with Biggie and Redman, like that shit with the Panther.
The Panther joint. Like you had everybody on that motherfucker. Like,
yeah, you know, like it's All the Way Live. That was on the Eddie movie, the Eddie soundtrack. Yeah, he was everywhere. Like you could not avoid him. Like even like the real last album that he put out in his prime, you know, we'll See You When You Get There and Ooh La La, you know, like that
shit was dope too. See You When I Get There was fire, dog. Like,
yeah, it was.
It just is a dope track. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, like Coolio was that, and it wasn't like it wasn't like Coolio. And then he took a lighter approach to gangster rap or whatever. But Coolio could also spit. Coolio could flow and he could spit. Like he had bars.
He had good content too.
Yeah. Like I said, because his albums like
and his music was always like it was hard, but it was still fun. Like
like in fact, no one ever says that the Gangsta Paradise the album is not classic. It's a classic album. Like It Takes a Thief was a classic. You know, like these are classic albums. No one really mentions them as classic because they just remember because he had monster singles.
Yeah, you know, and that's kind of like the gift and the curse. Like your songs could transcend yourself and the albums that they're on, and that's like I don't know. Like it's a good and a bad with it because it's like you know how people could, and I know I do this all the time. Like if a single is. Because there's niggas out now whose albums I've never heard because the singles never impressed me or maybe or compel me to listen to the album. So there could be some people on the opposite who they hear the singles and they love the single. It's such a monster. It's so great. They're like, I know his album fire. I ain't gotta listen to his album. Nigga. I just want to hear these couple songs because they fire. And if he got these songs, I know the album fire too, so fuck it. Then there's people who's like, yo, these songs trash, nigga. I know the album gotta be trash and this shit trash. Like, and you know, and I can see people doing that. It's just if you in love with certain songs, you like there's plenty of people like what's that first Michael Jackson album?
Off the Wall.
Off the Wall. The solo classic.
Yeah.
But the songs are like damn near solo, bigger than the album itself.
Right.
But you listen to the album all through, motherfucking classic.
Yeah, Coolio. At least it was good that in recent years. I mean, I know Coolio. I mean, the reason why Coolio fell off was because Tommy Boy Records, which has fucked over a lot of careers, decided that they didn't want. They said they sabotaged his actual career. Like there was a lot of bullshit that they did, and this was a guy that was selling at his peak. Like it wasn't anything like but Tommy Boy Records for whatever reason wanted to kill his career, like for no reason. Like, I mean, notoriously, I think the biggest thing they did, like, they deleted a song that him and Pac did, like, when they were alive, among other different things. And that's what made Coolio kind of, fall off from what he was in the 90s. I mean, he still did his thing. Like, I think he went to Europe. He was doing Big Brother stuff and stuff like that. And I think it was in more recent years that people gave him his flowers. Because, I mean, it was nice seeing all the videos, especially from 50 Cent and Tony Yayo and all of them. And Bone Thugs giving him his flowers, when he was alive, because it's like most people, because look like for a minute, people when they mentioned Coolio, it was just like, oh, either Gangsta's Paradise, or he's on drugs or some shit like that, And it's,
remember he was on like a court show too at one time.
Yeah, and he was in movies too. He was that Leprechaun movie, yeah,
which was dope.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, Coolio, and he branched out, and I know he did voice. I think he did it for Futurama. I think he was doing. He had a character of Futurama. I mean, he was in Batman and Robin.
He had some reality show or some shit too, right? I think.
Yeah.
They'll do, but you're not gonna hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in a lot. He was doing a lot of stuff too. But yeah, obviously the Martin and Parenthood and
Coolio definitely a top 50 rapper of all time, and
he's a legend.
He's a legend, icon. He's had one of the best rap careers you could dream of, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like, and anyway, I would say if any of you, honestly, if anyone badmouths Coolio, you just don't like hip hop music. Like you really don't. Like,
you're not the truth. You're not a fan. You're not a fan of the culture.
Yeah, because like I said, because that dude pretty much did everything. Like that dude was probably, now if you want to say commercial rapper, like dude had the perfect formula. For what he did,
That's why Hammer could never really come out with that gangster image he was trying to do, that funky headhunter shit with Death Row and all that.
But the funny thing with MC Hammer is he was really gangster. That's the problem. Like
it's true that's the thing, but his image was already something else.
Yeah, he was a dance nigga with the big pants,
and it's like you could say or
the fucking underwear pause when he was in that video. That wasn't a gay ass video.
Pumps in the bump.
Yeah, pumps in the bump. Pumps. Give me the bump.
What the hell, man?
Nigga bricked up in front of all those bitches and you married, nigga.
Right. Yeah. And that was the thing. Like, and frankly, too, I was a fan of MC Hammer. Still am. Like, I mean. Because I was like, MC Hammer, because he had hits too. I mean, he's probably another one that's probably dude that should really get his flowers too. And I just hope it won't take a death for him to do it, But yeah, that was the thing. When MC Hammer tried to switch up to what he probably more of what he was, it didn't work because he was so clean cut.
Hammer wanted to have a career respect that Coolio had.
Right.
But he just had the commercial success, but he ain't had the respect, like the hip hop and like gangster rap and like the MCs and all of that shit. Coolio had all of that.
Yeah, because let's say MC Hammer is probably one of hip hop's best entertainer. Like no one could dance like Hammer did at his peak, except maybe Vanilla Ice or Big Daddy Kane, or not even Big Daddy Kane. Really, MC Hammer is really. It
was always between Hammer and Vanilla Ice. I'll be honest.
Hey, BDK used to groove it out. Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, he did, but
he did, nigga. But Hammer, man.
Yeah.
Look, man, you had Hammer was getting it to the point where Michael Jackson was getting cameos in his videos and shit.
And James Brown was saying that he was his like predecessor and shit like that. It's like, those are.
You know how good you gotta be when you're on the radar of James Brown and Michael Jackson, like nigga.
That quick.
That's like you a blue chip prospect, and Floyd and Pacquiao visit your gym.
Right.
To see you, like, nigga.
Yeah, because there was no one in that period that was old enough that wasn't wearing. Like, I had the parachute pants. I did the Running Man. I did the typewriter, especially during the dodgeball too. They used to do that shit. Yeah, so it's like, the only thing I didn't do was have his hair, because his hair was like, that was texturizer, all types of shit like that. But still, MC Hammer was still that dude to me. Like, it still is. Like, I always liked his music, but MC Hammer also came out in the whereas like commercial was bad, and then on top of that, he wasn't a spitter. Like, I mean, he could rap, he had the voice, but he wasn't, he didn't have bars. The East Coast, back in the 90s, it's like, man, what's this?
Because Hammer was trying to make you dance. Hammer was trying to get these hoes, my nigga.
Yeah,
y'all up here trying to split nucleus and atom in half and all that other bullshit.
Yeah, and in fact, people like Ice Cube were, used to throw shots at him all the time. Ice Cube, Redman, fucking Q-Tip, Tribe.
Yeah. Real respected MCs are real gangster niggas, but when guys like MC Search did it, you saw what happened.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, MC Hammer, but of course, MC Hammer was gang. Like, I mean, the clean cut shit was cool, but MC Hammer.
Case in point, you couldn't be no cornball nigga outside of the culture speaking on it. Yeah. Even if you making a living in the culture. Yeah, and that's how rap was different. Like, it's not like now where, a DJ Academics can just run his fuck box about anybody.
Right, but yeah, that's what Coolio was authentic, because Coolio, he was affiliated with a lot of West Coast rappers. It didn't even matter the area you're from. I mean, Coolio was a legit gangster, but he wasn't in his music like that. Like, so it's like, he wasn't like saying, hey, I'm like this Crip or whatever. Like, no, that wasn't him. Like, he had the street cred, but he can also spit. He can also rap, and that was he came in doing it in a different way. He made fun music. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, and he showed you how you could do it and have that edge, and like Coolio really had like one of the best rap careers you could ask for. Yeah, and the music, he had classic music. Like, I especially, very few things made me shook about sex than that fucking Too Hot video. Like, that Too Hot video, that shit. Like, I was like, God damn, that's what. Because keep in mind, that shit came out Halloween of that year. That the video came out. Yeah, that's and true. This was the same year that Eazy-E died of AIDS. And shit like that. So when you see that video, it's like, oh my God damn, that's what it does. Like,
that whole era was like trying to like get you to not fuck, dog.
Yeah. Because I remember that America is Dying Slowly soundtrack. I still got that soundtrack.
Remember the Waterfalls video?
Yeah, dude. yo,
the fucking what's that shit? Even before that, you had the damn Salt and Pepper song, like. Yeah, like. Yeah, like now, niggas don't care. Like they'll tell you straight in a song, like, look, nigga, you better bust raw in these hoes, nigga. Like, y'all your mind, like you pull it out, like.
It was funny too, because rap was protested against some of these people, But then they realized that some of these rap cats actually had a conscience. They used to rap about this shit, like like safe sex and all that stuff like that. But it got mixed. It got
you can't get that now. Message. Like, you couldn't get the biggest. Like, you think you could get a Cardi B, Suki Hana, Meg Thee Stallion safe sex song?
Yeah. Those days are done, because the reason why they don't protest it, because now the establishment found a way to make money off it. So they're like, let's say we can kill two birds with one stone. Yes, we can have them rapping about killing each other and actually doing it, and then we can charge them all this money, and we can get rich, and we can fuck them on 360 deals and shit. Problem solved. That's why you don't ever see this shit on TV. Like, it's probably worse than it was now, but you don't see nothing like like nothing. Like, it's like a
the mainstream music is different now, so it's like you had to create so many different subgenres of hip hop, because hip hop kept evolving. So you're never gonna get that balanced mainstream look again. Like, right. The mainstream is always gonna be different waves.
Right. And then Coolio passing was just it took us back to just those innocent those memories of those days, like when it was, how different the game was, and and how someone like Coolio was a top rapper in the game, like and you cannot take that away from it. You cannot front on Coolio. Like,
and you got to look at the longevity and the peak of the moment, because I know people will say like, damn, yeah, Migos is like a top 5 rap group and this, that, and I'm like, but now when you see how shit transpired a couple years after their peak, you can't look at Migos like that no more. Were they a big group? Yeah. But like they not some top 5 rap group of all time.
No, not at all.
Like you might get them in top 15.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago when they were hot, they were trying to compare them to Bone Thugs. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
And this is the thing, like nobody's had a solo career from them bigger than Coolio.
Right, not one. Yeah.
So you could has one had a better solo career than Crazy Bone?
No.
So it's like so it puts shit in perspective when you a new rap nigga coming out and you just been only hot for 5 years or your peak was only for 2 years. Imagine someone like Fetty Wap comparing himself to Coolio.
Yeah.
Where Coolio had Fetty Wap's career for 3 years. At
least 3 years, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where and I'm not even shitting on Fetty Wap because he's had a good career too, but I'm just saying, like,
right.
He pumped he pumped like 6 of his singles in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is that? He should try to spread it out, but I guess Drake would iron
they was big though.
Yeah, they were. No, I'm saying like he had a 4-single run in that 1 year. I was like, god damn, there's some bang after bang.
The way hip hop is now is just you gotta beat people over the head with your music, or you gotta stay in constant fuckery rotation.
Or you have a cult fan base, you can do your own thing, but you gotta actually have a dedicated cult.
Right, because the way the music is not only developed but consumed is changed. So they have to, and no one really wants to try to dial that shit back. So they're forced to do that. It's it's kind of a vicious cycle.
But it's all how you present yourself. If you're somebody who wants to be known as having a lot of music, then you're gonna have to bombard niggas with a lot of music, and you're gonna have to keep making a lot of music so motherfuckers remember you. But if you're one of those dudes who you put out a decent amount and you just push that decent amount and you trying to expand the audience every time till you get a real cult following and fan base, and you don't have to put out so much because you have dedicated people that are going to support everything you put out. Like what they say, if you could get 100,000 fans, real fans that will pay you money, you got a career pretty much. Think about it. If Ring Gang was to say 100,000 people give us $1, what is that? It's $100,000, right, nigga? Like,
of course, yeah.
So that's how you gotta look at it, man.
But Coolio, man, like I said, Coolio missing because it's like, goddamn, because you don't. I mean, we've had a lot of '90s rappers, like some of the shit that, especially that me and LB came up with, like we don't want them to die early. I mean, we just said DMX passing away at 50 was that was a shock to everyone, especially and
Shock G, another one.
Yeah, Shock G, another one. So it's like you want to see. I mean, and there's more. Obviously, there's more rappers.
Black Rob, Young Dolph, Sean Price.
Yeah.
And just this year, then on the murder raps, like that PNB, like it's PNB Rock. What Fred the Godson? I think last year.
Yeah, he died from COVID. Yeah, COVID. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just like you actually want to see you actually want to see rappers.
K Slay.
Yeah, K Slay. From COVID.
Yeah, Drama King. Yeah.
You really want to see the hip hop rappers live long lives. It's like this. So just the fact, and then Coolio, who's one of the biggest rappers in this game ever seen, passes away at 59. It's just like it's You know, it's like it's tragic. Like, you know, you look back at it, goddamn, he did so much, but it's just like, goddamn, you know, so you realize like they're all getting old now. Like, you know, it's like, you know, you don't know if you're ready to see some of the favorite rappers you used to listen to start passing away, because, you know, hip hop is still it's young in terms of a music genre. So it's like, you know, when you get to that point where that's happening, it's just like, oh man. Yeah, but it's a trip. But yeah, Coolio will never be forgotten. Though that's, like I said, I'm just glad though that Coolio was able to get his flowers and smell them when he was actually alive. Because like, you know, I really like watching the video tributes and like the IG comments from people that work with them, that, you know, especially from Keenan and Kel, because they both did something. And then also, like, you know, various West Coast rappers. You know, they all gave him his props and stuff like that. And then 50 and Tony Yayo gave him his props too. You know, 50 doesn't give props like that easy, but, you know, yeah, you know, you get him to give you, him to actually dedicate.
50's not hitting on you, showing love. You know, you did.
Yeah, on his IG no less, because, you know, 50 lives with the fuckery on IG. That's why I follow that.
Kind of remind me of Pat. Damn, his bougie ass standards. You know, if Pac show you love, then you know you done did something, like you boxed a fight of your life or something. and you not Nigerian? Oh Lord, nigga, you shit, motherfucker! What you did? You turned water into Old English and then into Sprite?
Fool, yeah, we're fucking fools for that shit, nigga.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, Pilot laughed because he know it's low key true though.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, it's true. I'm the new guy, but I noticed it.
I ain't denying it.
But I like I said, I'll always give, like I said, because Coolio, like I said, you know, he brings back to like much simpler times in my life, you know, happier times, you know, like I said, you know, because, you know, like I said, you know, yeah, the game needed someone like Coolio back then, and he delivered in spades. So it's like, you know, and yeah, man, that's pretty much. I think we just pretty much summed up his legacy, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see him when we get there.
Yeah,
when we take our fantastic voyage to the gangster's paradise.
Oh God.
Bars.
No better way to end that. No better way to end that, yo, for real. So yeah, we come to the end of our show for tonight. You know, so we get our get final thoughts in. So P, your final thoughts.
Rest in peace to Coolio. You know, hope he's having a ball up in the gangster's paradise.
Yes, sir.
You know, we had a week off of boxing, but we're getting back into it. So let's hope for a good schedule, a nice little run going on. You know, other than that, you know what it is. ringgangradio.com. You know what I'm saying? You know where to find us at. Site. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? On all sites. So, you know what I'm saying? Ring Gang, we got some more content coming in, you know, with some content creators, and you're gonna enjoy what we got in store for y'all. So keep messing with us. We got y'all.
That's what it is. Ayo, Pilot, your final thoughts?
You know, rest in peace to Coolio, a legend again. If you're talking about the reminiscent about the 90s, you cannot not mention Coolio. You know, rest in peace, paradise and power to that man and his you know, for his family. Well wishes. You know, it's been a slow week of boxing. Last week we didn't really have any, but luckily we're getting back into it to close out the year strong. You know, strong October. And you know, we're here to deliver it. So thank you for fucking with us. You know where it is, ringgangradio.com, and then every platform imaginable. That's all I got.
Yes, sir. LB, what about you?
Oh man, R.I.P. Coolio. You'll be missed. Loved your music, your career. You meant a lot to me growing up in the 90s and just wilding out, dancing to your music and seeing that big Spanish nigga, you know, herb up them two short Mexican niggas in Dangerous Minds, you know, and bashing their head into the lockers with your music.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was one of the greatest examples of like a big nigga herbing up two little niggas I've ever seen.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Oh wow, man! Like you know, you truly was like a good 30% of the soundtrack for the '90s, and for that you'll always be remembered. Definitely a top 50 MC of all time. Definitely, no doubt about it. And I would argue against anybody who say he isn't. Like, you know, just we gotta put respect on these legends' names. So,
right.
You know, remember next time when you know your career is just hot for a year, and you want to start saying you the greatest and shit. You know, like,
right.
Like these are the niggas you got to damn match up against, man.
For real.
You know. Because when you down their career and you have a lesser career, it's like, you know, what's your career then if you ain't do what he did? So it's just, you know, it's just respect. That's all. But yeah, you'll definitely be missed, Coolio. Looking forward to this this above average weekend of boxing. You know, it's not the best and it's not the worst. It's like looking for some good wings on the weekend or some shit.
Hey, that's perfect.
like some roadie or something, or like a good ass meal that you just looking forward to on Saturday, but it ain't like no crazy shit. It ain't like lobster or ribs or nothing like that, but something like in between, like wings or like, you know, something like that, or some good ass tacos, some shit like that. But yeah,
yes,
so hopefully everything connects through. Shout out to my nigga PJ, the fight architect. I know he under the weather, so you know, sending out some love and support. Hope you get better soon. And shout out to Rome Top 5, my man Clanarchy, Sample Genius, Daisy, and Prolific Genius One, aka Ring Gang TV, the animation god. You know what it is. World is a op, out now. Tunnel Gang in the building. Let's go. RingGangRadio.com.
Yes, sir. And then also one thing I wanted to mention about Coolio and Gangsta's Paradise, because, you know, obviously it samples a Stevie Wonder classic, Pastime Paradise. And Stevie Wonder is not the type that lets people sample his music if they have like excessive profanity on there. So obviously Coolio did that, you know, with respect to he wrote that song. And then obviously when they blew up, Stevie Wonder actually performed that shit at the American Music Awards, like back in the day. Yeah. Like, it's very rare that something like that actually happens. Like,
he didn't even cuss in that song, did he?
Was that?
He didn't even cuss in that song, did he?
No, don't think he did.
Yeah, I don't think he even had a bad word in that song.
Or if he did, it was probably maybe shit or something like that.
Or damn or something. But I don't think he said, you know, fuck bitch shit nigga or something.
Yeah, no, none of that stuff.
Nah, he didn't curse in that song. That song had no cursing in it.
So it was Clinton, and Stevie Wonder actually performed that shit with him. Like, you know, that's how much of a good look that is. Like,
he sung his heart out too.
And that takes a lot of talent to not just a song called Gangsta's Paradise and not have a cuss word in it.
Yeah, right. And actually keep to the theme of what he was talking about. So it's like,
yeah, you got to be on point. Like, now I think the last song I did with no cursing,
I know
that Tyson Fury joint. Like, there's no cursing in that. Yeah, like, so like you really got to be on your ground when you do that shit. So yeah, that's another. Yeah, props to that.
Yeah, I still, because that was still such a legendary performance. Just like, god damn it, even Stevie Wonder had to get down. Like, because like I said, this is shit that this wasn't really happening like that in the '90s. Like, you know, having that.
I mean, you had Lauryn Hill, Roberta Flack.
Yeah, you know.
like, but remember, like, you had like legends doing this with legends. Like, like that shit don't happen now. Like, remember you had Elton John, Mary J. Blige type shit, Eminem.
Elton John and Eminem.
Yeah, like, you think Elton John gonna come out for one of these motherfuckers now? Like, fuck out of here, nigga. Like,
it was a different time, and you know. Coolio was in the apex of that for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I missed his last comment. I heard some fans call Fundora a hype bully.
Yep, that too. I've heard that too.
Oh man, like
yeah, like if he's like, it's like
how does that even make sense? People would just be saying anything these days.
But they mean it though. That's the sad part. Like they dudes really be meaning it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I ain't gonna hate nobody because he tall. Like, just don't be tall and good for nothing. Like that's when you get side-eyed and banned from bodegas and basketball courts and shit.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna be tall, you better be worth something, damn it.
Yeah, that's also that's absolutely true. Oh man, though. But other than that, definitely, for all those that engage with us, salute for you guys. And thank you, for to keep supporting us, especially for Jay, it gave me something to muse on as I as I title these things going forward and stuff like that.
Yeah, shout out to Jay.
Yeah, and then salute to everybody, on the cast and and not on and who didn't make the cast for tonight, and just follow us on everything, especially our website and our YouTube. So listen, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends about us so they can get down and we can all be friends because we do this shit for y'all. Like Ring Gang forever. Like we got a lot. We still got stuff coming down the pike. So definitely stay tuned. So for myself, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative, for LB Shuttleworth, the God, the GOAT artist, for Kinky Bodega P, and for Conscious Pilot. This has been another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. So until next time, peace.
Peace.